G'day team, today we're on the Gold Coast and we're targeting a noxious species called the tilapia. This is the Mozambique mouth brooder, the tilapia. It's a noxious species that's targeted throughout these waters by many anglers at certain times of the year. Now the Gold Coast City Council puts on this free family fishing event. And I thought it would be really interesting to show you guys back home what it's all about, because this particular species is eradicating our native species such as the bass, which call all of these lakes their home. These breed in thousands, in fact tens of thousands. And being, I guess, a habitat style of fish that really works their area, they'll take those bass out of those zones, and that is something we don't want to do. So we're going to go and have a chat with a family who's done very well over the past 2 years in the annual Tilapia Buses comp. Let's check it out. With a family who love to fish the Tilapia Buses. Team, thank you for joining us. 4-time world champions when it comes to the Gold Coast City Council's Tilapia Buses comp. Anyway, what do you love about this tilapia comp? What is it that you're, bringing back into the community about, fishing for these because they are a noxious species? What are your thoughts on the fishing, mate?
Oh, listen, I just like coming down here, bringing the family down. The kids love it, they enjoy it, and we've been doing it for the last, 4 or 5 years now with Jamie and Megan and the kids, so it's great.
You guys have taken it out quite regularly, obviously starting out with 5 or 6 kilos of fish. One year there, I hear you guys caught 30 kilograms.
Yeah, it was close to 30 kilos, and the boys took it out, so it was a really good day of fishing.
So the gear that you're running, I mean, we love to talk about fishing gear in this particular show. I see you're running fairly light gear here. Max, what's the gear that you prefer for tilapia?
Oh, listen, it's pretty much just a whiting hook with probably 8-pound leader or something, and just your braid, so that's pretty simple rig. Just put the worm on and throw it out and away you go. See how you go.
Do you find the tilapia just nibble, or they come up and grab? I mean, what's their bite status for an angler that's going, I want to go and catch a tilapia? There are rules and regulations to what you can and cannot do with these fish as well, but what's the general bite pattern there?
Well, they're quite easy to catch. They'll just nail the bait. Sometimes they'll pick at it, and most times if they're on, they'll just grab it and go, and when you're on, you're away. So they're quite easy to catch. There's nothing too fancy about it at all.
So one thing I do notice about this particular fish, which I'll pick him up here, is the Mozambique mouth brooder, the tilapia. It's a fish that's not native to Australia, basically. So these fish here hold their babies in their mouth. And the reason for the eradication of this, you might think it's cruel because literally thousands of kilos of these go into the bin and destroyed, is that they hold their babies in their mouth. And if you take this fish and you fillet it up and then you discard the actual carcass, is if you discard it, down the drain or in a bin or whatever, is that the babies will still live, and therefore they move to a different area. Now this fish is being dry out in a dry bucket before I put it in water for about an hour and a half, and at the moment its gills are still flaring. So they're very hardy. Oh, good on you, mate. Now this one, folks, is an Australian bass, and this is native to our species. Ryan, come on over, mate. So these particular fish here is what the tilapia will eradicate, unfortunately. So this is a native Australian bass. So when the tilapia come through and make this home where these fish have their home, when these spawn, the actual tilapia will eat all the babies because they are such a territorial species. So that's the idea. Get rid of course, the tilapia and let the native species thrive. It's such a big arse though, mate, isn't it? Because there are a lot of tilapia out there, Ryan. Yeah, all right, mate. Well, that's not a bad fish for your champion. We'll get a photo of that one for you. So I've got to ask you two boys a question here. Have you ever eaten a tilapia?
No, I haven't.
No, but I've heard they're better than a Spangled Emperor.
Mate, they are very close to what I believe is Spangled Emperor or anything like that. Of course, the Trickies or a Red Emperor. They are fantastic. Now, you can buy them and eat them in Chinatown, like in Sydney or Melbourne. Okay. They'll fry them up in the shops down there, but and also overseas, a highly consumable fish. But here in Australia, we can't eat them, but they are absolutely gorgeous. So you do see a few people doing the wrong thing, but that's how, because we know this fish was dry early, I put it in the water, and yeah, come back to life. But if they are having eggs in the mouth, now you've caught them with eggs because
yes,
when they throw up, obviously the eggs come out, yeah, and that's how they move around. Birds pick them up and away they go.
Yeah, we've caught quite a few with all eggs in their mouth and that. And they'll throw them back up in the bucket and that, and there'll be quite a few there.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Yeah. But mate, if you ever get the opportunity and you see them, properly sourced in seafood shops or in a restaurant, do yourself a favour, try one and you'll be absolutely surprised.
Yeah, look, this fish now, look, it's even like, it's still alive, and what time did you catch that, Jamie?
6:30ish, so it's been good 4 hours old in the bucket.
11 o'clock now, and he's still kicking, and he's been in the bucket, so.
Yeah, and we only just put water in the bucket like 10 minutes ago.
That's right.
Unbelievable. All right, guys. All right, we'll get you back into the competition. There's more tilapia to be caught.
No, thanks, Paul.
Good on you, boys.
Thank you.
I'll take that one. So, Sean, you're down here for the Tilapia Buses comp, mate. Tell me, how good is your day going, relaxing like the way you are?
It's going fantastic, mate. How much better could it get? Kids are out there on the yaks. They've got a few fish. What more do you want?
Red hot, mate. So Dad gets to drop some kids into the water. They've got their yaks so they can then zoom around wherever they want to go and get into the bit blowy out there on the water too, by the way.
Good for 'em, mate. It's good fitness for them. So, yeah.
And you sit back in the armchair, and that's a pretty good Saturday to be spent.
100%. It's one of my best, in fact. So I couldn't imagine a better way. So,
Have you caught any fish?
I've caught one tilapia, yes. Do you want to see it?
I'd love to see it. Where is it, mate? That's it.
That's it. Hey, I put in a lot of work for that fish.
So, Gracie, you're fishing out on the kayak. Tell me, how'd you go this morning?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty rough out there with the wind, but in the canals it's pretty good.
Well, you had your life jacket on, so it's all about safety first, isn't it? And then, of course, the bent rod. Now, I see you've caught a couple of fish. What are they?
There's a tilly in there, tilapia.
Yeah.
He's 39 centimetres.
Yeah.
I'm
Do
not
you want to hold that one?
Yeah, sure. Slippery.
Yeah. There you go. And what's the other one we got here?
Carp.
There we go. Look at that giant goldfish, everybody. I've never seen a carp caught in here before.
Yeah, and I've never caught one either.
Well, there you go. First time for everything for both of us, eh?
Yeah.
Jack, you're a yak fisherman, mate. Tell me, how'd you go out there? Bit of breeze, bit of push on the water, but you managed a few fish.
Yeah, it was windy as. Yeah, managed to get a couple.
Okay, what's the key to success? Anyone targeting tilapia, obviously you can't keep the things. You know that they're a bit of a pest.
Yeah.
Mate, what's the go for anyone else out there wanting to have a crack at tilapia? What do they need to know? What can they do to catch a fish?
I don't know, just fish with worms, fish with light gear, fish the banks, and you'll be right.
Mate, you're full of knowledge, aren't you?
No.
So Ryan, you're out in the kayak. How many you reckon you caught, buddy? And tell me about your technique, the bait, the gear you're running. What's the go?
I think I caught about 10. I was just using a 1000 or the 2000 Savage gear. I was just using worms, really.
Right, do you reckon you outdid your mate over there?
I don't know, be close.
That's all. Do you get competitive when you're out in the water fishing?
Nah, not really. Bit of fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, mate. Well, you've got a bunch of fish there. Well, you got weigh-in is about half an hour, so you need to get all these fish put into a bucket and ready to go out there, eh?
Yeah.
So I'm down here at the Tilapia Buses comp. This is the weigh-in station. I've got the Gold Coast favourite counsellor for Division 11, Herman Borsa, mate. This is your doing, right? Tell me, what do you do this for?
Look, mate, 1/3 of our division, the community I look after, is water. So if you're not looking after the water, you're not looking after the community. So it's not just about water quality, it's about what's living in, and if it's pests, we want them out.
Mate, now you also bring in bass, in fingerlings. How many tens of thousands have you guys introduced back into the waterways here?
Well, it's a bit of a reward for the anglers. We've dumped in 130,000 bass over the last 4 years. Now, that's a massive amount. They're not all going to survive. There's not 130 there, but hopefully most do. And that's going to make a huge difference to the way we use our waterways in the years to come.
Mate, this competition's really taken off over the years. Started out with 80 anglers, 100 anglers. This year, 330 anglers are competing for a competition that really just eradicates a pest.
Yeah, look, it's a win-win, and you know what I love about it? It's good, free family fun. There's not many things you can do with the family that's cheap, and here, not only is it cheap, it's good value as well. So we want more people out in the water with their kids.
So I'm down here now with Sean. He is part of the committee here, runs, of course, the Tilapia Buses, mate. Tell me about it. Fishing Fanatics, what's that all about?
Gold Coast Fishing Fanatics is a social media page based on the Gold Coast. We're everything about fishing on the Gold Coast. The Tilapia Buses here is just an educational day for families, fishers that don't know about tilapia and how important it is to get rid of them out of our system.
How important, Sean, is it to get rid of them out of the system?
Very. The tilapia don't have any natural predators. They will rip up the fauna and flora out of the ground, make nests, eat our native species when they're little fry, just outcompete everything. They're prolific.
It's a remarkable thing to see so many anglers, 330 registered today just to come down to a free event. But mate, just to see so many families out here, and that's what it's all about. It only goes for 7 hours fishing time, and it's local, it's Robina, anyone interstate travelling. Mate, it's held twice a year, yeah?
It used to be held twice a year. We've had to push it back to one a year because it's getting so big. But that's the beauty of it. Everyone gets so keen about it every year. Like you said, families come in. We've got little kids as old as 2 catching fish. We got kids with little kid combos catching big eeltail catfish, which is absolutely insane.
Sean, thanks very much for your time, mate. Quick one, we had 300 odd kilos last year, I think it was, or 400 kilos. What are you expecting this year?
Yeah, last year we had 302. We're hoping to get about the same, if not more. We want more. More is better.
And of course, thanks for watching Step Outside YouTube channel for lots of cooking and fishing action. Like, subscribe, and of course comment for more catches like this and cooking recipes.